So just to get a starting point on the city and state, I've picked out what my example address is going to be, and I started to letter it out. So you can sort of change up the style a little bit. If you see in the K here, I've made it a little bit scripty just to add some fun elements to it. So I've continued that style here with the F, and then the rest is going to be that serif font. And the great thing about each address that you'll letter is that you can sort of play with the layout because no address is the same. So you can sort of kind of curl things in or, you know, lay them out so it all sort of comes together. Just to show you what I'm talking about, I'll zoom in right here and focus on that. I've got the R here. This is going to be an R letter. And if I want to add something really fun, I might take the little leg of this R and extend it underneath the line there. So like curl it under. And this is a downstroke, so I'll make it a thick little downstroke. So we have the beginnings there of our address. And so this curls under, you don't want anything to hit it. So maybe the next letter I'll make a little bit shorter. So it kind of goes, if you can see, it kind of goes just slightly above that line. But because this little curl balances it out, it won't look like it's going crazy. And I have a curl on this A, so I'm going to make the next A a little bit different. So I might just keep that all on the line. And I might do something fun with that middle to connect the A there. And again, a little triangle, a little triangle. And so I might continue, there's some empty space up here now. I'm going to come in with my N, and I might do a little swash. And that motion again was up, down, curl over, and you can stop if you'd like, but I curled over and I kind of swashed it under. I'll make my thick line and my triangle. And so this now has some space cutting into the top. So what I'm going to do is I'll make my next line shorter to compensate for that. So now it goes shorter than the cap height on here. But what I'll do to sort of bring balance back is I'll extend the top of that K. And what I did for my little comma, I love doing commas like this, is I just draw a little circle and a little loop because I think it just makes it look a little tidier and a little bit more like a font. But it's handwritten, so you get the benefit of telling people, no, I wrote that. So I should have enough room here for the word Alaska. Sometimes if I'm unsure, I just draw the little skeleton part of it first. I don't fill all this in yet because then I can erase a little bit easier. So whatever method you'd like, you do have a pencil and eraser, but for purposes of spacing. And I'm not doing anything fancy yet, but I think for this A at the end, I'm going to have a fun little flourish for that connector. So you can sort of play around with how you want it to look, and you can start to see how the layout is coming together. It's a little bit, it's not all perfectly straight because this is a really fun style to do, so it's just sort of a little bit more whimsical, which for the holiday season, it's something that you can get away with because it's just a fun, whimsical time of the year. Don't forget to add your little feet and triangles. And if you notice, I have a lot of A's in this style, and you see I do follow the method of the downstroke. So all of my A's have the downstroke on the same side, and that just keeps it looking consistent. So even though this is a relatively whimsical style, in order to make it look correct, in order to make it look visually appealing, you want to keep some form of consistency to your piece. So you want to keep all of the thicker lines to one. So we've got the Fairbanks, Alaska written out. It's probably where Kris Kringle would hang out. And then the last step is just to add your zip code. And what I like to do is I like to put the zip code underneath the city and state. I think it just looks nicer that way, and you can space it out really pretty. So I kind of figure out what my center point is, and this is a tip that I use when I do calligraphy addressing on my envelopes, is I find out the center point, and then I put the center digit of my zip code down right in the middle. So that way I've got 2 on the other side and 2 here, and I can space it out correctly. And I think I want little fun spacers in between. Putting the zip code at the bottom also allows it to be read easier by the machines, because everything goes into the little hopper machine in the post office, unless you've got something that has to be canceled by hand. But everything goes into the machine, so it's not a single person looking at all of this, so it makes it easier for the machine to read it when it's clear at the bottom there. So now I have my zip code, and you can see it's centered in the bottom. So using that center number in the center and then spacing out either side allows you to get that nice even look. So we've got our layout today, and that's all I'm going to show you today. Tomorrow I'm going to be back, and we're going to be coloring all of this in, and then we'll be erasing our guidelines. And then on Thursday I'll be showing you how to shade all of the letters, and then on Friday we'll be adding some fun little holiday details. So I hope that you stay tuned for this little video series, and I hope that you enjoy. And if you want to learn more, if you want to be able to ask questions, and have them answer it in person and really help you troubleshoot the lettering process. My class is on the 29th of November. It's going to be held at Bellevue, Wilmington on 20 Princess Street. So I will put a link to that class with the video, and I hope that you enjoy.